I was tired here, man. Happy Sabbath, everybody. Man, we out here. We're going to pick up on 2 Samuel today. 2 Samuel chapter 13. Jump back in 2 Samuel 13. We're going to read from about 13 to 18. 13 to 18 or 13 through 18 today. I'm with King David. All that down. So, man, come on in. Let's begin. Get your Bibles. Tell a friend. It's a Sabbath. Oh. And we're going to get it going. Read for the day. Read. So let's get the reading started. And get ready. We're going to blow up the trumpet, blow up the horn, and be remembered before we read. Blow up the trumpet. Your time appointed. Blow up the trumpets. Let's jump into 2 Samuel. See what King David talking about, man. 2 Samuel chapter 13. Amnon defiles Tamar. That Absalom, whose name was Tamar, and Amnon, the son of David, loved her. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell. Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shemiah, very subtle man. And he said unto him, why thee down in the bed, and make thyself sick? And when thy father him, I pray thee, let my sister and dress the meat in my sight, that I may see it and eat it at her hand. Oh, he's setting up the plot. My sight, that I may eat at her hand. Then David sent home to Tamar, saying, go down to thy brother Amnon's house and dress him meat. So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was laid down. And she took flour and kneaded it, and made cakes in his sight, and did bake the cakes. And she took a pan and poured them out before him. But he refused to eat. And Amnon said, have out all men from me. All legs, get the hell out of here. That boy up to something. And then went out every man from him. And Amnon said to Tamar, bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of thine hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made and brought them into the chamber to Amnon her brother. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her, and he said unto her, come lie with me, my sister, you nasty dog. Oh, you nasty, dirty, dusty foot. Oh, you dusty foot. And she answered him, nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in folly. It's folly. Be with your sister is folly. And I, whither shall I cause my fools in Israel? Fools in Israel. Hand on her head, and when Amnon thy brother been with thee? But hold now thy peace, my sister. He is thy brother. Regard not this thing. And Absalom spake unto his brother Amnon, neither good nor bad. Neither good nor bad, for Absalom hated Amnon, because he had forced his sister Tamar. Absalom kills Amnon. And it came to pass after 2 full years that Absalom had sheep shearers in Baal-hazor, which is besides Ephraim. And Absalom invited all the king's sons. And Absalom came to the king and said, Behold now, thy servant. Many don't. Many don't. And the king said unto him, Why should he go with thee? Oh man. Unto him, Why should he go with thee? Oh man, my bad. Howbeit, he would not go, but blessed. Then said Absalom, If not, I pray thee. Then said Absalom, If not, I pray thee, let my brother Amnon go with us. And the king said unto him, Why should he go with thee? But Absalom pressed him, that he let Amnon and all the king's sons go with him. Now Absalom had commanded his servant, saying, Mark ye now, when Amnon's heart is merry with wine, and when I say unto you, Smite Amnon, then kill him. Fear not. Have not I commanded you? Be courageous and be valiant. And the servants of Absalom did unto Amnon. Sons arose, and every man gat him up upon his mule and fled. And it came to pass, while they were in the way, that tidings came to David, saying, Absalom had slain all the king's sons, and there is none one of them left. Then the king arose and tare his garments and lay on the earth, and all his servants stood by with their clothes rent. And Jonadab, the son of Shemiah, David's brother, answered and said, Let not my lord suppose that they have slain all the young men, the king's sons, for Amnon only is dead. For by the day that he forced his sister Tamar. Now therefore, let now my lord the king take the thing to his heart, to think that all the king's sons are dead, for Amnon only is dead. Absalom laid out the trap. I know the perfect plan. We're going to bring him out with us. Look, it's a power move for those that want power. Absalom flees to Geshur. But Absalom fled. Verse 34. But Absalom fled. And the young man that kept the watch lifted up his eyes and looked, and beheld, there came much people by the way of the hillside behind him. And Jonadab said unto the king, Behold, the king's sons come. As thy servant said, so it is. And it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end to speaking, that behold, the king's sons came and lifted up. It was on that just early, it's on that humbug. That the king's heart was towards Absalom. And Joab sent Tekoa, and anoint not thy head. Anoint not thyself with oil, but be as a woman that had long time mourned for the dead. And come to the king, and speak on this matter. So, and the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, I am indeed a widow woman, and mine husband is dead. And thy handmaid had 2 sons, and they 2 strove together in the field, and there was none to part them. But the one smote the other, and slew him. And behold, the whole family is risen up against thine handmaid, and they said, Deliver him that smote his brother, that we may kill him, for the life of his brother whom he slew. Shalom, shalom. And so they shall quench my coal, which is woman. Go to thine house, and I will give churning thee. And the woman of Tekoa said unto the king, My lord, O king, the iniquity of his house, and the king and his throne be guiltless. And I pray thee, let the king remember the Lord thy God, that thou wouldest not suffer the revengers of blood to destroy any more, lest they destroy my son. And he said, As the Lord liveth, there shall not one hair of thy son shall fall to the earth. Then the woman said, Let thy handmaid, I pray thee, speak one word unto my lord the king. And he said, Say on. And the woman said, Wherefore then thou hast thought such a thing against the people of God? For the king doth speak the things as one which is faulty. In that the king doth not fetch home again his banished. For we must needs die, and are as water split on the ground, which cannot be gathered up again. Neither doth God respect any person. Yet doth he devise means that his banished be not expelled from him. Now therefore that I am come to speak of this thing unto the Lord the king, it is I will now speak unto the king. It may be that the king will perform the request of his handmaid. For the king will hear to deliver his handmaid out of the hand of the man that would destroy me and my son together out of the inheritance of God. Then thine handmaid said, Word of my lord the king shall now be comfortable. For as an angel of God, so is my lord the king to discern good and bad. Therefore, thy God will be with thee. Then the king answered and said unto the woman, Hide not from me, I pray thee, the thing that I shall ask thee. And the woman said, Let my lord the king now ask. And the king said, Is not the hand of Joab with thee in all this? And the woman answered and said, As thy soul liveth, my lord the king, none can turn to the right hand or to the left from aught that my lord the king hath spoken. For the servant Joab, he bade me, and he put all these words in the mouth of thine handmaid. To fetch about this form of speech had thy servant Joab done this thing. And my lord is wise, according to the wisdom of an angel of God, to know all things that are in the earth. And the king said unto Joab, Behold now, I have done this thing. Go therefore, bring the young man Absalom again. And Joab fell to the ground on his face and bowed himself and thanked the king. And Joab said, Today thy servant knoweth that I have found grace in thy sight, my lord, O king, and that the king hath fulfilled the request of his servant. So Joab arose and went to Geshur and brought Absalom to Jerusalem. And the king said, Let him turn to his own house, and let him not see my face. So Absalom returned to his own house and saw not the king's face. But in all Jerusalem there was none to be so much praised as Absalom for his beauty. For from the sole of his foot even to the crown of his head there was no blemish in him. That boy was pretty. And when he polled his head, for it was at every year's end that he polled it, because the hair was heavy on him, therefore he polled it, he weighed the hair of his head, and 200 shekels after the king's weight. And unto Absalom There were born 3 sons and 1 daughter, whose name was Tamar. She was a woman of fair countenance. So Absalom dwelt 2 full years in Jerusalem and saw not the king's face. Therefore, Absalom sent for Joab to have sent him to the king, but he would not come to him. And when he sent again the second time, he would not come. Therefore, he said unto his servant, See, Joab's field is near mine, and he hath barley there. Go and set it on fire. On that humbug. And Absalom's servant set the field on fire. Then Joab arose and came to Absalom into his house and said unto him, Wherefore have thy servants set my field on fire? And Absalom answered Joab, Behold, I sent unto thee, saying, Come hither, that I may send thee to the king to say, Wherefore am I come to Geshur? It had been good for me to have been there still. Now therefore, let me see the king's face. Oh, you kind of aggressive, huh? And if there be any iniquity in me, let him kill me. So Joab came to the king and told him. And when he had called for Absalom, he came to the king and bowed himself on his face to the ground before the king. And the king kissed Absalom. Chapter 15. Absalom revolts against David. Oh, Lord. Oh, Absalom, why? It's all a get back from what David did. It must be the get back. You messed up, David, messing with Uriah's wife. You messed up. This might be what you get. Absalom revolts against David. Chapter 15. And it came to pass after this, that Absalom prepared him chariots and horses, that when any man that had called unto him and said, Of what city art thou? See, thy matters are good and right, but there is no man deputed of the king to hear thee. Absalom said, Moreover, Oh, that I were made judge over in the land, that every man which hath any suit or cause might come unto me, and I would do him justice. And it was so, to do him obeisance. He put forth his hand and took him and kissed him. You know some shit, Absalom. King for judgment. So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. And it came to pass after 40 years that Absalom said unto the king, I pray thee, let me go and pay my vow, which I have vowed unto the Lord in Hebron. For thy servant vowed a vow while I abode in Geshur in Syria, saying, If the Lord shall bring me again indeed to Jerusalem, then I will serve the Lord. And the king said unto him, Go in peace. So he arose and went to Hebron, tribes of Israel, saying, As soon as ye hear the sound of the trumpet. And with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they not anything, and they knew not anything. And Absalom sent for the Gilonite, David Gilo, while he offered sacrifices, and the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom. David and his household fleet. And there came a messenger to David, saying, The hearts of the men of Israel are with Absalom, are after Absalom. And David said unto all his servants that were with him at Jerusalem, Arise and let us flee, for we shall not else escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly, and bring evil upon us, and smite the city with the edge of the sword. And the king's servant said unto the king, Behold, thy servants are ready to do whatsoever my lord the king shall appoint. And the king went forth, and all his household after him. And the king left Tim to keep the house. And the king went forth, and all the people after him, and tarried in the place that was far off, passed on beside him, and all the Cherethites, and all the Pelethites, and all the Gittitites, 600 men which came after him from Gath, passed on before the king. Then the king said to Ittai, the abide with the king, for thou art the stranger and also an exile. Whereas thou up and down with us, and take back thy brethren, mercy and truth be with thee. And Ittai answered the king and said, as the Lord liveth, and as my king shall be, whether in death or life, even there also with her, and all his men, and all the little ones that were with him, and all the country, and the king also himself toward the way of the wilderness. And lo, Zadok also and all the Levites were with him, bearing the ark of the covenant of God, and they sat down passing out of the city. And the king said to Zadok, carry back the ark of God into the city. If I shall find favor in the eyes of the Lord, he will bring me again and show me both it. The king said also to Zadok, the priest, art not thou a seer? Return into the city in peace, and your 2 sons with you, Ahimaaz, thy son, and Jonathan, the son of Abiathar. See, I will tarry in the plain of you to certify me. Zadok therefore and Abiathar carried the ark of God again to Jerusalem, and they tarried there. And David went up by the ascent of Mount Olivet, and wept as he went up, had his head covered, and he went barefoot. And all the people that was with him covered every man his head, and they went up weeping as they went up. And one told David, saying, Ahithophel is among the conspirators with Absalom. And David said, O Lord, I pray thee, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness. And it came to pass that when David was come to the top of the mount, where he worshiped God, behold, Hushai the Archite came to meet him with his coat rent and earth upon his head. Unto whom David said, if thou passest on with me, then thou shalt be a burden unto me. But if thou return to the city and say unto Absalom, I will be thy servant, O king, as I have been thy father's. Thy father's servant hitherto, so will I now also be thy servant. Then mayest thou for me defeat the counsel of Ahithophel. And hast thou not there with thee Zadok and Abiathar the priest? Therefore it shall be, that what thing soever thou shalt hear out of the king's house, thou shalt tell it to Zadok and Abiathar the priest. Behold, they have there with them their 2 sons, Ahimaaz and Ahimaaz, Zadok's son, and Jonathan, Abiathar's son. And by them ye shall send unto me everything that ye can hear. And Hushai, David's friend, came into the city, and Absalom came into Jerusalem. Chapter 16. Ziba's lie. Ziba's lie. The water. If you knew who I was, then when you asked me of water. Ziba's lie. Chapter 16. And when David was a little past the top of the hill, behold, Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth, met him with a couple of asses saddled, and upon them 200 loaves of bread, and 100 bunches of raisins, and 100 of summer fruits, and a bottle of wine. And the king said unto Ziba, What meanest thou by these? And Ziba said, The asses be for the king's household to ride on, and the bread and summer fruit for the young men to eat, and the wine that such as be faint in the wilderness may drink. And the king said, And where is thy master's son? And Ziba said unto the king, Behold, he abideth at Jerusalem. For he said, Today shall the house of Israel restore me the kingdom of my father. Then said the king to Ziba, Behold, thine are all that pertaineth unto Mephibosheth. And Ziba said, I humbly beseech thee that I may find grace in thy sight, my lord, O king. Shimei curses David. When King David came to Bahurim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Gera. He came forth and cursed still as he came. And he cast stones at David and at all the servants of King David. And all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. And thus said Shimei when he cursed, Come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial. The Lord had returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. And the Lord had delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son. And behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man. And then said Abishai, the son of Zariah. Then said Abishai, the son of Zariah, unto the king, Why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head. Oh, I want to step on him, King David. Oh, King David, please, King David, please, let me step on him. I'll do this for you. On the love, for the love. on the muscle. I'll do this one off the muscle. Bishop about that life. Oh, you gonna let this dog talk to you like that, King David? Oh, let me kill him. Just let me do it. I got it. I got this. I'm ready. A bishop like Peter. Why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over there, I pray thee. And the king said, What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zariah? So let him curse, because the Lord had said unto him, Curse David. Who shall then say, Wherefore hast thou done so? And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, Behold, my son, which came forth of my bowels, seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone, and let him curse, for the Lord hath bidden him. It may be that the Lord will look upon my affliction, and that the Lord will requite me good for his cursing this day. And as David and his men went by the way, Shimei went along on the hillside over against him, and cursed as he went, threw stones at him, and cast dust. And the king and all the people that were with him came weary and refreshed themselves there. The advice of Ahithophel. And Absalom and all the people and the men of Israel came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. And it came to pass, when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was come unto Absalom, that Hushai said unto Absalom, God save the king. God save the king. And Absalom said to Hushai, Is this thy kindness to thy friend? Why wentest thou not with thy friend? And Hushai said unto Absalom, Nay, But whom the Lord and this people and all the men of Israel choose is his will I be, and with him will I abide. And again, whom shall I serve? Shall I not serve in the presence of his son? As I have served in thy father's presence, so will I be in thy presence. Then said Absalom to Ahithophel, give counsel among you what we shall do. And Ahithophel said unto Absalom, go into thy father's concubines, which he hath left to keep the house, and all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father. Then shall the hands of all that are with thee be strong. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house. And Absalom went in unto his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. You dusty foot. Hey, but that's what the Most High said was going to happen. Hey, let thy will be done. Let thy will be done. And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was as a man had inquired of the oracle of God. So was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom. Chapter 17. Moreover, Ahithophel said unto Absalom, let me now choose out 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David this night. And I will come upon him while he is weary and weak-handed, and will make him afraid, and all the people that are with him shall flee. And I will smite the king only. And I will bring back all the people unto thee. The men whom thou seekest is as if all returned. So all the people shall be in peace. And the saying pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel. The advice of Hushai. Then said Absalom, call now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he saith. And when Hushai was come to Absalom, Absalom spake unto him, saying, Ahithophel had spoken after this manner. Shall we do after this saying? If not, speak thou. And Hushai said unto Absalom, the counsel that Ahithophel hath given is not good at this time. For, said Hushai, thou knowest thy father and his men, that they be mighty men, and they be chaffed in their minds as a bear robbed of her whelps in the field. And thy father is a man of war, and will not lodge with the people. Behold, he is hid now in some pit, or in some other place. And it will come to pass, when some of them be overthrown at the first, that whosoever heareth it will say, there is slaughter among the people that follow Absalom. And he also that is valiant, whose heart is as the heart of a lion, shall utterly melt. For all Israel knoweth that thy father is a mighty man, and they which are with him are valiant men. Everybody know about your daddy? Man, your daddy the man. You forgot how your daddy killed Goliath? You forgot? Man, your daddy about that life, man. Your daddy is a warrior. King David, the warrior. Oh, you ain't like your daddy. Oh, hey, you better watch out. Your daddy the man. Let me tell you this one time what your daddy did. Therefore, I counsel that all Israel be generally gathered unto thee. From Dan even to Beersheba was the sand that is by the sea for multitude, and that thou go to battle in thine own person. So shall we come upon him in some place where he shall be found. And we will light upon him as the dew falleth unto the ground, and of him and of all the men that are with him, there shall not be left so much as one. Moreover, if he be gotten into the city, then shall all Israel bring ropes to that city, and we will draw it into the river, until there be not one small stone found there. And Absalom and all the men of Israel said, the counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel. And the Lord had appointed to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel, to the intent that the Lord might bring evil upon Absalom. Then said Hushai unto Zadok and to Abiathar the priest, thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel, and thus had I counseled. Now therefore send quickly and tell David, saying, lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness, but speedily passed over, lest the king be swallowed up, and all the people that are with thee. Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz said unto Enrogel, for they might not know them or went. I don't remember that being in the Bible. A witch. I know harlot in here a lot of times, but I don't remember witch. Hey, but it's in here. A witch. Whether they went down. And the woman took spread a covering over the whale's mouth, and spread ground corn, and the thing was not known. And when Absalom's servant came to the woman to the house, they said, where is Ahimaaz and Jonathan? And the woman said unto them, they be gone over the brook of water. And when they had sought and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. And it came to pass, after they were departed, that they came up out of the well, and went and told King David, and said unto David, arise and pass quickly over the water, for thus hath Ahithophel counseled against you. Then David arose, and all the people that were with him, and they passed over Jordan. By the morning light, there lacked not one of them that was not gone over Jordan. And when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose and gat him home to his house, to his city, and put his household in order, and was buried in the sepulchre of his father. Then David came to Mahanaim, and Absalom passed over Jordan, he and all the men of Israel with him. And Absalom made Amasa captain of the host instead of Joab, which Amasa was a man's son, whose name was Ithra the Israelite, that went into Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, sister of Zeruiah, Joab's mother. So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. And it came to pass, when David was come to Mahanaim, that Shobi, the son of Nahash, of Rabbah, of the children of Ammon, and Machir, the son of Amiel, of Lodabar, and Barzillai, the Gileadite of Rogelim, brought beds and basins and earthen vessels and wheat and barley and flour and parched corn and beans and lentils and parched pulse and honey and butter and sheep and cheese of kine for David and for the people that were with him to eat. For they said, the people is hungry and weary and thirsty in the wilderness. Chapter 18, this will be the last chapter. Absalom killed by Joab. And David numbered the people that were with him, and set captains of thousands, captains of hundreds over them. And David sent forth the third part of the people under the hand of Joab, and a third part under the hand of Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, Joab's brother, and a third part under the hand of Ittai, the Gittite, and the king said unto the people, I will surely go forth with you myself also. But the people answered, thou shalt not go forth. You shall do no. Thou shalt not go forth. For if we flee away, they will not care for us. Neither, if half of us die, will they care for us. But now thou art worth 10,000 of us. Therefore, now it is better that thou secure us out of the city. And the king said unto them, What seemeth you best will do. What seemeth you best I will do. And the king stood by the gate side, and all the people come out of the out by hundreds and by thousands. And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying, Deal gently for my sake with the young man, even with Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom. So the people went out into the field against Israel, and the battle was in the wood of Ephraim. Where the people of Israel were slain before the servants of David. And there was a great slaughter that by that day of 20,000 men. Damn! 20,000 Israelites killing each other. Israelite on Israelite crime. For the battle was there scattered over the face of all the country devoured. Absalom met the servants of David, and Absalom rode upon a mule, and the mule went under the thick boughs of the great oak, and his head caught hold of the oak, and he was taken between the heaven and earth, and the mule that was under him went away. And a certain man saw it and told Joab and said, Behold, I saw Absalom hanging in an oak. And Joab said unto the man that told him, And behold, thou sawest him? And why didst thou not smite him there to the ground? And I would have given thee 10 shekels of silver and a girdle. And the man said unto Joab, Though I should receive 1,000 shekels of silver in mine hand, yet would I not put forth mine hand against the king's son. For in our hearing the king has charged thee and Abishai, and Ittai, saying, Beware that none touch the young man Absalom. Otherwise, I should have wrought falsehood against mine own life. For there is no matter hid from the king, and thou thyself wouldest have set thyself against me. Then said Joab, I may not tarry thus with thee. And he took 3 darts in his hand, and thrust them through the heart of Absalom while he was yet alive in the midst of the oak. Man. And 10 young men that bare Joab's armor compassed about this and smote Absalom and slew him. And Joab blew the trumpet, and the people returned from pursuing after Israel. For Joab held back the people. And they took Absalom and cast him into a great pit in the wood, and laid a very great heap of stones upon him. And all Israel fled, every one to his tent. Now Absalom in his lifetime had taken and reared up for himself a pillar, which is in the king's dale. For he said, I have no son to keep my name in remembrance. And he called the pillar of his own name. And it is called unto this day Absalom's place. David told of Absalom's death. Then said Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, Let me now run and bear the king tidings, now that the Lord hath avenged him of his enemies. And Joab said unto him, Thou shalt not bear tidings this day, but thou shalt bear tidings another day. But this day thou shalt bear no tidings, because the king's son is dead. Then said Joab to Cushi, Go tell the king what thou hast seen. And Cushi bowed himself unto Joab and ran. Then said Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, yet again to Joab. But howsoever, let me, I pray thee, also run after Cushi. And Joab said, wherefore wilt thou run, my son, seeing that thou hast no tidings ready? But howsoever, said he, let me run. And he said unto him, run then, Ahimaaz, run then. Run. Then Ahimaaz ran by the way of the plain and overran Cushi. And David sat between the two gates, and the watchman went up to the roof over the gate unto the wall, and lifted up his eyes and looked. And behold, the man running alone. And the watchman cried and told the king. And the king said, if he be alone, there is tidings in his mouth. And he came apace and drew near. And the watchman saw another man running. And the watchman called unto the porter and said, behold, another man running alone. And the king said, he also bringeth tidings. And the watchman said, me thinketh the running of the foremost is like the running of Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok. I can tell by the way that boy run. That boy look like Ahimaaz, man. Look, I can tell Ahimaaz run anywhere. It's got to be Ahimaaz. And the king said, he is a good man, and cometh with good tidings. And Ahimaaz called and said unto the king, all is well. And he fell down to the earth upon his face before the king and said, blessed be the Lord thy God. Their hand against the Lord the king. And the king said, is the young man Absalom safe? And Ahimaaz answered, when Joab sent the king's servant and me thy servant, I saw a great tumult, but I knew not what it was. And the king said unto him, turn aside and stand here. And he turned aside and stood still. And behold, Cushi came. And Cushi said, tidings, my lord, and the king, for the Lord hath avenged thee this day of all them that rose against thee. And the king said unto Cushi, is the young man Absalom safe? And Cushi answered, the enemies of my lord the king, and all that rise against thee to do thee hurt, be as that young man is. And the king was much moved, and went up to the chamber over the gate, and wept. And as he went, thus he said, O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would God I had died for thee. O Absalom, my son, my son. He still loved his son, even though Absalom was given that get back of the Lord. That was chapter 18. That was today's the Sabbath reading, man. Sabbath reading. We out here. It's like King David. 2 Samuel, starting at chapter 13, and we read through chapter 18 all the way to 19. Ooh, good Sabbath reading. Good Sabbath reading. I was tired, man. I was tired. But we got the Sabbath reading in, baby. We out here. Absalom died. Ahithophel died. Man, there's some killing in the Bible, man. You know, hey, man. About somebody. The Bible is really like, you know, Pimp C, man. For real. One day here. Tell him, Pimp. One day here, baby. Oh, shit. Yeah, man. Hey, you would get smitten in the Bible, baby. You ain't safe. You are not safe. They trying to take you out for rich, take you out because you're serving other gods. Well, you get smitten all over the place, left and right in the Bible. Treacherous. You better, like Juvie say, walk like and talk right. Oh yeah, Juvie was right. Juvie was right. You gotta walk light and tall, right? Won't you? I hope you got your old winch that come out and tell you something, you know. Get it how you live. He was getting how they live in the Bible, boy. He was getting how they live, you know. And how they live, you know. If the Lord wants you gone, but in the Bible, baby, it's crucial. Hey, but that's our God right there. That's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Man, he gangster. One day you hear stories like that. Many stories like that, you know. But there's also stories of those who trusted in the Most High. He trusted in him, and really well. Like David and the lions. I mean, otherwise you might put a bag on your head. The seer's gonna see that bag. Man, shalom, everybody. Happy Sabbath that I made it. Oh, man. Blow up the trumpets. Blow up the trumpets. And the new moons. The days appointed. Blow them up. Blow up the trumpets. Just like David and them did. Oh, man, I bet there was some bad blowers out there, man. I know it wasn't no jazz stuff, but I bet it was some bad blowers. Oh, Bible up. Read. Don't be a hearer only. Be a doer. Today, remember to keep the Sabbath holy. Till next time, next Sabbath reading. And we're going to pick back up, man, in 2 Samuel. But, hey, if I feel like it, we're going to go during the week. We'll see what it is. We'll see what it is. The Most High is definitely worth some readings during the week and not just on the Sabbath. And get some Bible reading in. But, shallow out. I'm out here, baby.